Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I thank you for all the messages of support from last week. It means a lot. I'm very happy that I have so many people, some of whom I know personally, and some whom I don't, who would spend their time to write messages like this. So I thank you for that. Today we're going to get back to doing instructive material, and we're going to look at a game by one of my top students. His name is Charlie. I showed some of his games before. Charlie's highest rating on chess.com was around 2150. He dropped a little bit. He's now rated 2000. And this is a game he played online a couple of days ago. It has a lot of instructive moments. So I want to show this game to you and we'll learn how to attack. So Charlie plays d4, b6. Charlie recently adopted the London, which obviously is something I approve of. And he played bishop f4. Black fianchettos. Now we can do many different things against this setup. Charlie chooses knight c3, which is not a terrible move. Computer disapproves. But the point of this move is Charlie wants to play e4, which is absolutely a fine idea. Black plays d6. Black is playing this game very, very passively. Computer wanted to play knight f6 to stop our e4 adventure, but Black allows it. And so naturally Charlie takes a center. Whenever allowed, you want to control the center. Black plays knight d7. So this is a setup which some of you may have faced before. Black is playing very unambitiously. At some point he might play e5. Maybe at some point he might even castle long. But for now he doesn't have a lot of space. So Charlie chooses to play f3, which is fine. He blunts his bishop. As you can see, the computer was thinking about just developing instead. Black plays e6. This looks similar to the hippo. If Black plays this move, puts the bishop here and the knight here, this will become the hippo. Charlie develops the bishop, nothing special. There are many possible moves. This one is absolutely okay. Black decides to play bishop e7, which is fine. Just eventually developing. Charlie brings out his knight. Just developing all the pieces, nothing crazy. Black develops his knight. And Charlie decides to drop the bishop back. It's not entirely clear why. It's not a bad move, but it's not necessary. But again, it's a 3-minute game, so things happen. Black castles, which makes sense, and Charlie launches an immediate attack on the king. Pawn g4. And he's playing simple. We'll play h4. At some point we might raise the queen, we might castle long. This queen might even go this way, or we'll bring the second rook and the queen will go this way, and white gets a nice attack. And Black plays e5, which computer doesn't like, as you can tell, because it allows white to close the center and just focus on the attack. Also, it gives up control of this square. And whenever you see a square like this, automatically you need to ask yourself, which piece would like to get here? And the answer, of course, is the knight. And the knight would like to get to this square. So Charlie closes the position. Pawn d5. Black plays, again, really, really slowly, really passively. Giving white free time to continue his attack, which Charlie does. Again, h4 is not the only move. We can bring the knight here. We can raise our queen and castle. But Charlie plays h4, which is good. Black plays knight e8, with some intentions of taking this pawn. Charlie plays g5, which actually is a good move, despite the question mark which you can see. We advancing towards the king, we're stopping Black from taking our pawn. And Black now decided that he wanted counterplay. Pawn c6. But white is much, much faster. Charlie plays knight g3. The knight is coming to f5. Black takes the pawn. White takes back. Computer side prefers taking with the knight just because it's a good knight. Charlie took with the pawn. I imagine Charlie's idea was to open up the bishop, and white is still quite a bit better. Black plays knight c5, which is very sensible. He wants to get rid of this bishop. That knight was not doing too much, and this bishop is playing an important role in attacking. Charlie inserts his knight on f5, which makes perfect sense. Black gets rid of the bishop. Another possible move was bringing the bishop back to get rid of this very powerful knight. Of course, Charlie takes with the queen. Now he has a good queen. He gets ready to castle. Black does follow the idea of challenging the knight. Charlie castles. Computer, being computer, of course, notices that this queen is a little bit overworked. It defends its bishop, it also defends its pawn. So logically, we can take the pawn first, attacking the queen, and then we take the bishop with check. But Charlie castles again. It's a 3-minute game. We are move 17. Charlie used up a little bit more than a minute, so we should not expect perfect chess, but this is still really, really instructive, and Charlie is doing a great job. Black plays b5 because he sees the king, so he decides to attack. And Charlie brings the rook into the attack. Computer doesn't love it. Again, if computer is thinking of bringing this knight more into the attack, computer is also thinking about opening up more lines, but okay, this move is quite sensible, and white is still better. Black gets rid of the knight. Again, if your opponent has good attacking pieces, you want to trade those pieces off. Charlie takes back with the queen. And black tries to trade queens, because again, he's been attacked. If queens get traded, he survives, which obviously means we should not trade. So Charlie drops the queen back. Black offers another queen trade. Charlie repeats the position, and probably black should have repeated the position also. And then Charlie would have had to find a way to continue playing for a win. But instead, black plays b4 because he wants to create an attack of his own. Here, Charlie missed the move. He has a minute 26 left. It's not obvious, but the best move is rook here, which is a really weird looking move. But the point is that attacks the queen. After the queen moves, this pawn is free, because black cannot move the queen anywhere from where it will defend the pawn. Okay, Charlie instead decides to introduce the knight into the attack. And the point is, there are all kinds of lines open, and black needs to be very, very, very careful here. Black decides to grab the pawn on a2, which is a decisive mistake, because notice, we have two rooks, we have a queen, we have a knight, we have a bishop. All our pieces are ready to attack, and something that I discussed before, when you attack with all the pieces, start looking for breakthroughs. Start looking for sacrifices, and Charlie finds a brilliant, literally, brilliant knight f6. Because it's a check, black has to accept the sacrifice. If he doesn't, we checkmate. So black can take with the pawn, but that's just devastating. Because if he takes, we take back. We open this rook. The king has to go to h8. And now we can take the bishop. We are not even down anything. We're attacking the rook. We have a very, very open king. If he saves the rook, we can just take. He takes back. We bring the next rook. Now black can block with the knight. But now there are many, many different winning moves. The simplest one is just sacrifice the rook. He has to take back. And now this is really pretty. We sacrifice the bishop because he cannot take. If he takes, he gets mated. And the problem is, if he moves, he gets mated also. King h8, we check and checkmate. Let's go back. King g8, we also check and checkmate. If you're attacking, make sure to do everything with check. If at all possible. And again, he doesn't have to, Black with a knight, if he moves the king, this is simple. Play queen here, we're threatening this. It's just a matter of time until this game is over. So let's go back. This explains why Black didn't take with the pawn. In the game he took with the bishop, which is the best move. Knight takes, just for demonstration purposes. Obviously we're taking the bishop, we're double attacking the pawn. He doesn't want to take here because we just take back. Again, this is a pin. We're trying to checkmate. If he plays g6, well, now this square is weak. So we bring the bishop and we checkmate very, very, very soon. And again, if he doesn't take, let's pretend he moves g6. Notice he's not actually attacking our queen because of the spin. So that means we can simply win a piece. And it's essentially game over. So let us return to the game. So again, brilliant move by Charlie, which he found in 7 seconds. So knight f6. Black takes, best move according to the computer. Obviously pawn takes back. Now there is pressure on this pawn, but also the queen is still attacking, the bishop is still attacking. Black plays g6, which is best according to the computer, attacking the queen. Again, the queen is not really attacked, which allows Charlie to play h5. And the point is we are setting up for taking and then for another sacrifice. Again, this is the second stage of the attack. When you attack with a lot of pieces, look for breakthroughs. Black, according to the computer, should check and give up his queen, which of course is winning for Charlie. But Black grabs the pawn and now it's all over. Pawn takes pawn. If Black does nothing, pawn takes pawn is checkmate. Not right away, but very soon. Let's pretend a5. So there is several ways. This one is actually even faster because it's a double check. But let's pretend we do this one, check. He has to move the king. We sacrifice our rook. He has to take. We take back with the queen. And now we finish him off with the 2 remaining pieces, check. And checkmate. Again, a number of clearance sacrifices. In the game, Black decided to take back. But again, Charlie breaks through. One more brilliant move. One more sacrifice. This one played in 3 seconds. Again, if you play a lot of games, which Charlie does, find these things will become natural. So if Black moves the king, we checkmate in 2 moves. We give up the rook and checkmate. And in the game, Black took back, and now of course this is checkmate on the next move. Very powerful attack by Charlie. Again, remembered several lessons. When you attack, try to employ all your pieces. When you're attacking with all your pieces, look for sacrifice. Look for sacrifices and also look for outposts for your pieces. For example, when you see a move like e5, you automatically should realize that this could be a good square to use. I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, thank you for all your support. Please like, please subscribe. I'll be back soon. Thank you.